Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to.
How exactly, does it feel to be 60?
To be honest with you, I don't really feel any different. I think first and foremost, it's a question of attitude and mindset. Attitude and mindset in the sense that there are people who already feel old in the way they conduct and carry themselves. I don't think I fall into that category. Second is also, if you look at all the things that you can sum up to say, okay, now I'm 60, maybe in terms of physical attributes, medical orientation and perspectives, and so on and so forth. There hasn't been any significant change for me. Yes, I mean, there are some changes. I mean, inevitably, because the older you get, certain things start changing. But it's not that significant for me to say, oh, okay, now I'm 60, suddenly it's hitting me that hard, and I don't know the next line of action. That's really is not my case or situation.
What was the first thing, that you did on Monday, March 25th, when you clocked there 60?
Frankly, it's one of thanksgiving, it's one of gratitude, it's one of appreciation, it's one of acknowledgement, especially to God. Always bear this in mind. The Bible says, not for him that runneth or willeth, is because of the Lord and of his mercy. There have been many, many situations that things could have headed south. I mean, including terminally. I can remember many situations where one could have died. It's really because it's God, part of God's plan, out of his own benevolence, out of his own large-heartedness to keep one alive. So for me, it's really one of gratitude that one is alive, one is able. I can see, I can feel, I can touch. I don't have any challenges more than any normal human being could have. And certainly there are no challenges that I face that God has not prepared the provision for me to be able to overcome. So it's really one of gratitude. I did say that there are situations that could have gone very awry, and I can remember one or two as a very young boy, and then there was all this commotion, and I woke up and I found that a snake was actually climbing up to my bed. It was a double bunker bed, and the snake was actually climbing up to my bed before somebody saw it and killed it in the middle of the night. I mean, that's one of what you can call, those kind of memories. Another specific one that I remember that, I always thank God for was the ADC crash, many years back. I'd actually bought the ticket for that ADC flight to Port Harcourt or from Port Harcourt. And basically, we got to the airport, myself and a client colleague that was supposed to travel together to Port Harcourt and do day return. Okay. And when we got it was a Friday. So when we got to the airport, we then realized that being a Friday, it was always much more difficult to, being a Thursday. I was supposed to do Port Harcourt on that Thursday and Abuja on the Friday. At that time, there were not many flights to Abuja, so we realized that getting out of Abuja on the Friday was always much more difficult. So when we got to the airport that morning, we then changed our minds and bought new tickets to now go to Port Harcourt, to now go to Abuja on that Thursday rather than Port Harcourt. I hope you understand what I'm saying. We were supposed to go to Port Harcourt that day on the Thursday and go to Abuja on the Friday. But when we got to the airport, we suddenly realized that it was easier to get out of Port Harcourt on a Friday than to be to get out of Abuja. So we then changed our destination at the airport, and then we now bought Abuja for that Thursday instead of the Friday. So that's how we missed the flight to Port Harcourt because we had not changed our minds to go to Abuja on that Thursday. All right. So bear in mind, the gentleman that took us to the airport, my friend's driver, the last thing he heard was that we were going to Port Harcourt. All right. So when that crash now happened, he just started broadcasting that, oh, his organ and his friend on that flight. There was also some senior person at ADC then who actually was our friend and saw us in the morning when we checked in. And as of the time she saw us, our destination was supposed to be Port Harcourt. So she too, joined in panic and wasn't too sure because until later when they saw the manifest. Anyway, by the time we landed back from Abuja was when we now heard that the aircraft had gone missing. But as of that time, there was already a lot of commotion about us being also on that flight. Long story short, I still had that ticket for many years, and I just said, look, it's just the grace of God because we are not better than people who died in that fateful crash, military crash many years ago. So there are many, many situations that one just needs to look back and thank God for, just for His grace upon one's life.
Interesting. Now, are there targets that you had wanted to accomplish at 60 that you have not been able to?
Again, to be honest with you, I'm not that kind of person that boxes himself into a corner that I must have done this by so age. I've learned to take things in my stride a lot. I've learned to be intentional about the things that I do. I can be very broad-minded about my aspirations, but I'm certainly not the kind of person that will say, "Oh, by so date, I must have done so." So, I always like to have some degree of elbow room and latitude to get things done. I mean, but that said, there are expectations, from people around you. There are also one's expectations too about certain things that maybe you ought to have done. But again, I don't have that sense of siege that, oh, it must have been done by so time. But I also do realize that God has really, really been kind to me. I mean, in every facet, in every area of life that I can look at, God has really been very kind to me. So I've never had to look back on the upside about where I am. In actual fact, I've always been very grateful for the privilege of the kind of opportunities that God had exposed me to, and that He still continues to expose me to. And, again, maybe because of my own orientation, I'm somebody who believes so strongly that the cup is always half full rather than half empty. I'm somebody who believes very, very strongly in always looking at the positive side of life. I'm an incredible optimist, so I don't allow things to weigh me down. So if you understand from that perspective, then you'll appreciate the fact that I don't get boxed into the corner because I expect this to have been done. But even then, when you look back to take stock, all I just have is just praise, thanks, and gratitude.
Okay.